Breaking news exclusively from Blue Eye Media. And now from our global friendly partners.
We have some news right now. A United States military commander is alleged to have told their troops below them that Donald Trump was anointed, quote, anointed by Jesus to lead the United States into war with Iran. This is follow-up reporting to the prior report that essentially the Huffington Post cited and others that the war in Iran was biblically divine, essentially invoking Christianity into the war. Well, I want you to look at this email that was sent to the Military Religious Freedom, a nonprofit whistleblower organization that's exposing this. Quote, Mr. Weinstein, thank you for taking my calls and calls of some of my colleagues as to what happened earlier this morning in our combat unit. I am a blank in our unit. This morning, Commander opened up combat readiness status briefing by urging us not to be afraid as to what is happening with combat operations in Iran. He urged us to tell our troops that this was all part of God's divine plan, and he specifically referenced numerous citations out of the book of Revelation referring to Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ. He said that President Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to earth. He had a big grin on his face and said all of this, which made his message even more crazy. This is pretty crazy stuff. I'll have more updates for you soon. Feel free to go read the full report on the Huffington Post website. They did a write-up on it as well. Spread the word. Follow for more.
The Military Religious Freedom Foundation is reporting that more than 200 phone calls have came to them from soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines across all branches from 50 different installations that their commanders are telling them that this war in Iran is anointed by Jesus, that Donald Trump was anointed by Jesus, and that this war in Iran is meant to expedite Armageddon, the holy war that would end everything. They're being told this by their commanders. More than 200 phone calls from over 50 different military installations, meaning that somebody's telling them to tell the troops this, which we know who that somebody is. That would be Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump, because Pete Hegseth has been on this wackadoodle, let's all come together and pray on TV thing for a while now. He went in front of multiple formations and did this whole big watch me pray thing. This is very Christian nationalist of him. This idea that there has to be a holy war for Armageddon to happen. That would lead to the return of Jesus Christ. This is a fundamentalist Christian idea. I grew up believing that. That's why I know what they're talking about. But they are now saying to the formations that this is why we are at war with Iran, because Jesus told Donald Trump. The same Donald Trump, by the way, the same Donald Trump who has been talking about, I'm not sure if I'll go to heaven. He's been struggling openly on the mic in front of everybody. He's been struggling with his end of life mortality, not knowing where his soul goes, not knowing how he'll be punished or not punished for what he's done in his life. He's been openly talking about this thing in front of crowds. So this lines up. It sounds like they've convinced him that he's anointed by Jesus, and Jesus said, you got to go to war with Iran to start the holy war so I can come back. And I think that Donald Trump thinks that this is his only way to get to heaven. And listen, this is just my analysis of it. And the Military Religious Freedom Foundation is keeping the identity of those who reported anonymous. And I'm glad they did, because this chain of command will take retribution. But that's not coincidence if you get 200 phone calls from 50 different installations. If you're one of the soldier, sailor, airman, marine that's been told this, please hit me in my DM. I'd love to talk to you directly. I will also keep your identity anonymous. But this is asinine. We are now starting wars with other countries because the president believes that God told him to. 25th Amendment, anybody? Time to kick this guy out? Time to remove all the leadership? Pete Hegseth is complicit in this bullshit too? This is Christian nationalism unleashed. We told you it was going to happen. We told you this was their plan. They don't care about the Constitution. They care about the Bible. Now, the Bible is the law of the land to them. That we are now in a caliphate.
Yeehaw! Al-Qaeda strikes again, everyone. Military leadership is telling U.S. troops that Donald Trump is anointed by Jesus Christ and that they are fighting in a holy war meant to bring about the apocalypse and the second coming of Jesus. And guess what, folks? If you're surprised, you're not paying a fucking attention. All of the leadership propping up the Trump regime are part of this cult of right-wing Christian nationalists, from the Heritage Foundation to Pete Hegseth's church, Christkirk, D.C., that are preaching things like we need to be comfortable with owning slaves again and that women need to become subservient. This is nothing new. This is the America they want. This is what they meant by make America great again. They want to bring us back to the dark fucking ages. It's time to wake up, Americans. It's time to put aside your political differences and stand up against this absolute fucking insanity.
Follow Blue Eye Media for exclusive insights and breaking news sources from global-friendly outlets that you won't get from the mainstream TV and radio outlets of America. Learn how to play the flute of the globe and learn the real truth.